Hi, in this video we will see how to use React Core Lite with Elixir. First you go to react-core.lite.github.io and then you click on Get Started with Elixir. You need to have installed Elixir, Erlang and Elixir. You can check how to install Erlang here in this link and how to install Elixir using your preferred method. In this case I'm using Erlang 23 and Elixir 1.10.3. but it should work with recent versions of both. So the first thing you have to do is copy this command. It's a tool that allows us to generate a Riak or Lite template. And then you can create a project like this. You can change the name by changing records to the name of your project. Of course, then later you have to be careful when you run the commands or when you follow the tutorials and that your name is this name is replaced with the name you're using. So it created this folder with the libraries and configurations and templates, so we can cd to it and we can get the dependencies and compile. And when that's finished, we can run a single node to see that everything runs correctly, and we can see that it's running, so it didn't crash or anything. We can check that Riak Core is working by running a ping command which comes with the template. So you get a lot of log files at the beginning when everything initialized, but then it will reply with this, basically pong, a number, the node that replies, and the vnode ID. You can also put a number and it will return the next number. So, and the number is used to hash to which vnode it will go. As you can see, when the default for it is 1, so it will with 1 it will always land on the same vnode. And if we provide different numbers, it will land on different vnodes, but will always land on the same if you use the same number, because we are using this number to hash to which vnode it should land. Let's now try to do a 3-node cluster on machine, and this is a way to test. Of course, why we need to do this mixm node 1 is because since we are going to be running these 3 nodes in the same machine, we need to change the ports and the node names for each node so that they don't clash. If you're running this in 3 actual physical nodes or in for example a 3 Docker containers, you can use the same release for the 3 because they won't clash, and that's of course the idea. In a real environment you will use the same release. You will just change the host name, but it's easier to just set it up on my laptop. So now I will have to open 3 shells, 1 for each node, and run these commands. The only thing that changes is the path of the release, and we are starting a interactive shell on each. And now we can ask node 2 and node 3 to join node 1, because right now they are not a cluster, they are just 3 nodes running on the same machine. So we check here we can see in which node we are, node 2, node 3, node 1. So on node 2 and node 3 we will run this function that will say to this node to join this other node, and we can see some output here. Now we need to see the plan, because we are just staging a join, so it's joining, but to make it work we have to see the plan, which is the data structure. In the future we will add a formatting function for that, and then once we approve the plan we can commit it. So now they will transition to valid and they will start moving, and if you run this you can see that now the ring is 100% on node 1, and it should, and this is the pending transitions. Since this cluster is new and it doesn't have a lot of state, it will transition relatively fast. Of course it takes care of doing everything with care. Of course we don't want to be too fast and fail when we're transferring data. So we can see in the logs that the rings are transferring, and when it finishes, when this is 33.3 or something, so it will look like this, and when it finishes, pending is empty, and it will look kind of like a third for each. And then we can play with our little cluster. It's hard with the logs, so I will wait until they finish. Now they finished. So I ran a ping, and ping 1 lands on node 3, 2 lands on node 3, let's see if I'm lucky, 22 lands on node 2, and 26 lands on node 1. So we are running a command here, it's going to this or this node and coming back with the pong and the number. So our cluster is actually working. And to continue, you can go to this tutorial, which the setup part of this tutorial was different. So it may not work right now, but from here on you should be able to follow it. In the future we are going to migrate this documentation to the Riak or Lite site, so it's up to date and in sync with this setup tutorial. But it should work, and if it doesn't, just let us know on the Erlang or Elixir Slack. Bye.